Hi there, me again, day 6, and it's the 7th of October 2015. So today is a bit of a quieter day compared to the days gone by. So we had 2 sports today. I attended basketball and the cycling as well. So we had Reece at the cycling, and the basketball team played a second pool game against India. And India was similar to Iran in that it was its first international competition. We were a little bit uncertain about the team, but the coach did scout them the day before, and we had a tactical plan in place for India. So it certainly was an easier game for Australia. A lot of time for some of the bench players to get on the court and actually get into the action and experience the Asia Pacific Deaf Games. So the results were 103 for Australia and 25 for India. They only had 7 players available, so at the end of the game they started to tire, and Australia really zoomed ahead. So, I mean, it's fantastic that India was able to compete in the games, and hopefully we'll see them compete again in the future and contribute to the growth of basketball in the Asia Pacific region. Also with cycling, we had the 100-kilometre road race. Individuals and teams, very strategic based type of race. Doesn't only rely on the fitness but the communication that occurs between the different members. Reece filled me in on the plans the night before and he was working with the Taiwanese because as you would know, he's actually friends with some of those guys. Unfortunately he came 10th in the road race and he wasn't particularly happy about that result because all the planning took place beforehand and that didn't work out according to plan. Anyway, well done to Reece. There is another opportunity in 2 days' time. We've got the 50-kilometre point race and we'll see how he goes in that. So now Reece can have a rest and a break for 2 days. Now just a bit of an update about the events for tomorrow. So similar to what we had yesterday, we've got Australia, well we did have Australia have their first game done out of the way, but somebody who hasn't played since the 30th of September will be competing on the 8th of October tomorrow, and that's badminton. So we've got Mitchell Davis, who's a relatively new player within deaf sports, and he's from South Australia, from Adelaide. So Mitchell will be playing in the badminton, and in the draw he'll be playing third round, first and second rounds of buys. So third round and competing against Malaysia. That game's going to be scheduled at 2:30 our time, local time here in Taiwan, so we wish Mitchell all the best for his international debut. Good luck, Mitchell. Moving on, football, their last game is a decider as to 5th or 6th spot for the Australian team, and they'll be playing Malaysia, so Malaysia in the soccer as well as badminton. That match is actually 2 o'clock for the soccer, and the winner will decide who's 5th. And with the football in the Asia Pacific, to qualify for the 2017 Deaf Olympics they need to be in the top 3. So unfortunately they're not going to qualify for Deaf Olympics. They may come 4th, but that really does depend on the other regions. I guess looking at South America, Europe and Africa and the spots they take up. So possibly in 4th place they could contribute at Deaf Olympics, but it doesn't look as though that's going to occur for Australia. We just had an interview with Robert Stanton about tomorrow's game, so I'm going to show you that. Hi there everybody, today's day 6, so this is 7th of October, and tonight I've got Robert Stanton with me, head coach of the football team here at the Asia Pacific Deaf Games. So welcome, Robert.
Thank you.
Good to have you here. So Robert's part of the football team, and over the last 3 games of competition they've had a loss, a win and a loss. And unfortunately they didn't qualify for 2017 Deaf Olympics, but we'll have a bit of a chat about the plans for the future. And also tomorrow the game against Malaysia to fight for the 5th spot for the Asia Pacific Deaf Games. So hopefully we have a win from tomorrow, and that'll be great way of finishing off on a high note. So how do you fancy your chances for tomorrow?
I think tomorrow will be a difficult game. Malaysia, we watched them today, and technically they're okay. Tactically they play very compact, and they'll cause us some problems, especially when they get the ball and they counter us quickly. So all the teams have been tactically really good, and that's probably been our strongest point at the tournament. We've been tactically well, but technically we've been a bit short. So that's an area we have to work on, is our technical ability.
Great. So hopefully tomorrow it sort of turns to our favour, and I'm sure that the boys will do their best. And with your experience so far, I believe you're the head coach of Sydney, Outland for Sydney Football Club youth team, is that right?
Yeah, I'm full time. I'm at Sydney FC. I'm the head national youth league coach, and also I'm the National Premier League head coach as well. So I'm quite busy there as well.
Okay, great to have you involved with deaf football. It's awesome. I'm sure that the boys are feeling very lucky to have you involved. So with your experience throughout the Asia Pacific Deaf Games, what's that been like to attend the first international deaf tournament? How's it been?
Oh, look, it's
and the quality of the opponents.
Yeah, the group we're in is a very, very difficult group. They're Iran are Asian champions.
Group of deaf,
yeah. Group of deaf. Asian champions. Kazakhstan, we didn't really know anything about them. We played really well. We won. Even against Iran, it was 1-0 running, 1-0 down at half time. So they're a very, very experienced football team. And I thought for our first game, for some of the young players, they were a little bit nervous, but overall the performance was a very good one. And against Japan, who are traditionally very, very strong team as well. It was 0-0 half time. We had a couple of chances to get into the game. Unfortunately, we conceded as well, probably because we're a little bit inexperienced. But overall, yeah, as I said, technically, individually, the other teams have probably players who can be a little bit more stronger and probably have a bit more experience. But tactically and collectively as a team, we're very, very competitive. Very competitive. So that's really pleasing. So the boys have taken on board everything we've worked on in the last 2 years and applied it, and we've been really competitive. So as disappointing as what it is, for the future looks really promising, because the players will be more experienced. They can now go back and focus on developing the technical side of the game, and apply that with the tactical side, and the experience will give them a mental edge when they go out and play next time, and physically we've probably got a little bit more to develop too physically with the younger players to match. Iranians are really big, and the Koreans are very big and strong, who we saw today. And once we get that, I think we're going to be very competitive. So it's a long-term plan. It's been a long-term plan.
Yeah. I understand as well your team on average, they're sort of around the age of 20 years of age, so there's a lot of potential there in the future in terms of scope and forwards, and their first international tournament together. I'm sure they'll learn a lot from this and take away a lot for the future. So are there any up and coming events? I know you're not going to be waiting for the next Asia Pacific Deaf Games, but any other plans for tournaments within the 4-year period?
I think yeah, I think we'll look at bringing out maybe 1 or 2 countries to Australia, have a tournament maybe. Last December we brought out North Korea, came out. That was a really, really big success. We had 3,500 people, and it was really it was massive. So we'll get involved with whether we bring out the community, their community, and try and get them to engage with the people in the community. If we bring out someone like South Korea, we might even look to try to bring out Iran or Iraq, and try and engage the people in the community and get as many people to the game and promote their football. And also in the deaf community as well, we try and get as many people to come out and enjoy the experience. As I said, last time we had a lot of people, not only from the Korean community and also the deaf community, and it was a really, really good evening. So if we could reproduce that again, I think it would be a great, great thing. And it lifts the profile of football for us, and also the sport in general for the deaf community as well, which is what we want to do. So said, it's been a great tournament so far, very competitive, and I think all the players have really enjoyed themselves. It's been good.
Yeah, I think from what I've been told with the guys in football, it's looking really positive. So I'm hoping that the Asia Pacific Deaf Games and the performances here really do attract other players around the country to want to try out and lift the standard or raise the bar as well. So that's great.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Robert, for your time and being here tonight to be interviewed, and all the best for tomorrow.
Thank you.
I hope. One last comment I wanted to make was that I know that the boys will be disappointed with the loss to Japan, but it's how you respond to those kinds of situations that really make a character. How you respond to that, and I hope that the guys do well tomorrow. So good luck.
Yeah, I hope so too. We've prepared. We've already started to prepare, and they're behind us now. We're doing a recovery in the pool, so our preparation's been really, really good. Just hopefully they've settled down a bit more by now, and they'll enjoy this game. It'll be a tough game, a bit like Kazakhstan. It's going to be very close, but if we play well, we stick to the tactics that we apply, and I think the outcome can be very positive for the players.
Great, thank you.
That's great.
Right.
You're welcome. All good.
And I'll report back to you more about the plans for tomorrow and the events that will be coming up. So I'll report back soon. See you. Thank you. Looking positive for football for the next 4 years. So countries coming from overseas to compete and certainly raise the bar for the standard of football in Australia, which is fantastic. Now tomorrow we're looking at basketball, the last pool game before the guys head into the finals. So Australia's won 2 games already, so they're already in the top 4. But with tomorrow's game, they're playing China. That'll be a decider as to whether we end up first or second in our pool grouping. If we do win, then it'll definitely be a first or second out of, there's 2 groups. So they'll play the other group, groups A and B. So the first will play the second in Group B from Group A. So we'll take a keen interest look at that match at 11 o'clock tomorrow. And hopefully Australia will finish at the top of the pool, and that means that the semi-final will be against those who are second in the second pool group. So we wish them all the best. Good luck. Go Australia. See you tomorrow. That's where our pool recovery takes place. So just in the hotel, and everything is provided. It's fantastic. See you.